Slavery had ended, but freedom was only written on paper. The Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment promised liberty, but a new system quickly rose to replace the chains. Black Americans were free, but poverty, segregation, and violence tethered them. Landowners, merchants, and local governments were determined to maintain control. They could not own people outright anymore, so they found another way: the law itself. Crimes were invented, exaggerated, or twisted to trap black bodies. Vagrancy laws punished those who were unemployed or wandering, even if they were simply searching for work. Convict leasing turned arrested men into cheap labor for mines, railroads, and plantations. As if the chains had simply been replaced with paperwork, families were torn apart. Fathers, brothers, husbands, dragged from homes under the weight of false accusations. Courts were theaters of intimidation. Trials were brief, sometimes non-existent. The verdict was often certain before the gavel fell. Even ordinary life became dangerous. Walking on a white-owned street, walking in public spaces, or arguing for fair wages could be criminalized. Arrest, forced labor, and intimidation became tools to remake submission, one statute at a time, yet communities resisted. Churches, mutual aid societies, and schools became refuges. People pooled resources, educated their children, and planned quietly for a life they were promised, but denied. The chains may have been hidden, but their weight was just as real. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, these fake crimes had become an industry. Black jails overflowed. Convict labor filled factories and fields. Even those who tried to flee found the system waiting: sharecropping contracts, tenant farming, and debt peonage bound families to land they did not own. Violence backed the law. Lynching, mob attacks, and police terror were used to enforce compliance, often justified by the same criminal charges the courts had levied. Children grew up witnessing the swift punishment of anyone who dared step outside prescribed limits. Economic control followed. Businesses refused loans. Landowners manipulated rent and credit. Black communities had to fight not just for money, but for the right to move, to walk, to breathe without threat. Every misstep, real or imagined, could land someone in chains again. The cycle persisted for decades. Jim Crow laws codified the inequalities. Discriminatory policing, unequal courts, and institutionalized poverty maintained control. Black Americans were citizens by law, prisoners by circumstance, yet hope endured. Families educated children, created communities, and resisted quietly through protest, migration, and collective solidarity. The chains were invisible, but the fight for dignity never ceased. The story of slavery